are the watchers, they would see that, you know what I mean? And they're going to make themselves known, or the government trying to have some, thing come up that they have more control over us or whatever. Like, this is the hard part because nobody will give the truth. You know what I mean? Like, they try to,
Oh,
oh, now the Pope says, ET phone Rome, or, like the Project Blue Beam or Paperclip, where they want to, have this false narrative, like this false thing that I don't, you see, you
this
never
fake
know.
alien invasion.
Yeah, it's like watching
Wasn't
old.
that wasn't Operation Paperclip like a fake alien invasion to
Yes.
scare
And
people?
Blue Beam as well, like
Okay,
where they want to
that's
be
No,
what I thought.
holographic.
no, you're thinking of the War of the Worlds. That was the fake radio show that was set up for it. Now,
Hmm.
Paperclip, what she's talking about was it was a government organization that was supposed to investigate UFO sightings, which they turned it into a joke. Really, they wanted to
Yeah.
use it as a way to freaking make
Point.
UFOs to debunk UFO sightings, debunk. You know what I'm saying? Say that they weren't real, basically.
Mhm.
And
But
the
yeah,
only bad part about that deal
So
was the only bad part about that deal was is the guy that they assigned to do it eventually went from not believing in UFOs to believing in UFOs.
there's so much evidence, and but the thing is, it's like, how else do you get information? How do you get information? You can research it, but if there's a false narrative, or um, it's just it's almost impossible. It's like you're running in circles basically, because they'll never be a straight shoot. They're not going to. They either feel they're superior to, the rest of us peasants, and we don't deserve this illuminated information, this higher enlightenment. So it's hard to get the truth. It is, and it's, like I said, I've been doing this most of my life, and I'm still chasing my tail. You know.
Yeah. Well, at least you're chasing your tail. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something. That's what I keep telling everybody all the time. I'm like, don't sell yourself short. You're doing something. How many people would just go home and sit on their asses and don't do anything?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can
I
either
don't
be
ask any questions about
right. It's so don't sell yourself short. It's perfectly fine for you to just freaking be there doing your research and trying to figure out something new rather than not doing anything at all and letting time.
Yeah. I try to connect the dots. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get a piece here and a piece there, and somehow it'll correlate with one another so well that it will click in your mind, and be able to have an understanding of something. Like, you're trying to dig through, all the crap to get to a little sliver of truth, and maybe a few of those truths together paint a bigger picture for you, or give you a better understanding. And I think this engaging thing, and being able to bounce off one another like this, I think this may. I feel really good about it. Like, I feel that this may help one another get to the truth. And then um
Now,
it's unfortunate, but I
now,
like this. This is
it.
good.
now, now that we've had the conversation and everything, let me uh, get further with what we were talking about with the topics. Okay. Now,
Okay.
now, we had just gone over the myth of Etana, and I was talking about the birds and the reptile and how they're connected, and like I wanted to go on further with that, and I wanted to talk about uh, Del Moon. Have you guys ever heard of Del Moon or Dilmon?
Mm, Come on. I think,
Now,
yeah, are you talking about Dilmun?
yeah,
It's like, in like the Persian like
yep,
Persian Gulf. It's like Mesopotamia.
yes. It's supposed to be
Okay.
the original supposed Garden of Eden. Okay, and it's called
Mm,
Dilmun. I call it Dilmun. A lot of people call it Dilmun or Dilmun,
Dilmun.
and
Dilmun.
a lot of them call it Telmun. But it was an ancient East Semitic speaking civilization in eastern Arabia, um, mentioned from the 3rd millennium BC onward. Based on contextual evidence, it was located in the Persian Gulf on a trade route between Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley civilization, close to the sea and to Artisan Springs. Now,
Mm.
Dalmun encompassed Bahrain, Kuwait, and eastern Saudi Arabia. This area is certainly what is meant by reference to Dalmun among the lands conquered by King Sargon II and his descendants. Now, the great commercial and trading connections between Mesopotamia and Dalmun were strong and profound to the point where Dalmun was a central figure to the Sumerian creation myth.
Yes.
Now, Dalmun was described in the saga of Enki in Ninharsag as pre-existing in paradisiacal state where predators do not kill. Pain and
Yeah.
disease are
There's no
absent,
sickness, death, or
and
pain.
people do not get old.
Mm-hmm.
Dalmun was an important trading center. At the height of its
Mm-hmm.
power, it controlled the Persian Gulf trading routes. According to some modern theories, the Sumerians regarded Dalmun as a sacred place, but that is never that is never stated in any of the known ancient texts. Now, Dalmun was mentioned by the Mesopotamians as a trade partner, a source of
Yes.
copper, and a
Trading hub. Yes.
trade entry point. The Sumerian tale of the guardian paradise of Dalmun may have been an inspiration too for the Garden of Eden story.
Well, it connects Mesopotamia with the Indus Valley,
Right.
which I wasn't even very familiar with. But I started looking into it like 2 or 3 nights ago. But I wasn't. I'm actually not very familiar with the Indus Valley and the civilization. So I pulled as much information as I could. Like I said, I kept it very short and sweet. There's 5 little paragraphs of the information that I had to contribute to it, or that I
Go
could
for it.
piece together. But with the Dilmun, I put Dilmun was an ancient civilization located in the Persian Gulf, significant in Mesopotamia, trade, and mythology. It was described as paradise where there was no sickness, death, or pain. Dilmun was a major trading hub connecting Mesopotamia with the Indus Valley. It is often associated with the Sumerian creation myth and might have inspired the biblical Garden of Eden,
Okay. Now,
is what I put.
now when we go back to the whole thing about the bird and the reptile, okay,
Hmm.
and you start talking about dragons. Now, the key part to all that is you have to take into consideration the Indus Valley. Okay, the Indus Valley is just to the east of India. Okay, so the Babylonians and the Sumerians had close, or the Sumerians actually. This was before the Babylonians, but they had close ties to Dalmun, and Dalmun had close ties to the Indus Valley. And the thing about the Indus Valley is there's a lot of controversy behind that. Like India in their Hindu religions, right now they have a really strong national movement going on where they want to say that the Aryan invasions that occurred in their texts, their religious texts, didn't happen. That freaking the Hindu religion originated right there in India, which is complete and utter nonsense because evidence has shown, even through DNA, um, uh, migration patterns, that
Mm-hmm.
these beliefs and these people actually traveled into India. Okay, and the Indus Valley is where a lot of this stuff came from. It started out in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and it stretched all the way down to the coast there. If you check it out on the map, you'll see what I mean, where it's right there at the freaking ocean. And
Mm-hmm.
these trading routes took place right there on the shore, and
Mm-hmm.
these ships would travel all the way around to the Persian Gulf, and they would
Like
trade.
Silk Road. Silk Road
Exactly.
is like how they would trade spices, that
Yeah.
they would come from, so far away to come to this. It's like a marketplace almost, and they would, trade or barter or, buy or whatever.
Exactly.
That was, yeah, a major trading thing. And the weird thing about that Indus Valley thing, I know this is a little off topic, but major cities included, like, it's called like Harappa. I know I'm probably butchering it, but it was due to like climate change, which is so strange that it would be, Harappa, but it's almost like harp. I don't know why that it just kind of stuck to me when I was like I said, I wasn't very familiar with this one here when I started doing a little, digging. I just thought it was strange that it would be something with climate change and harp, like harpa or harappa, but it was, it's just so close to harp. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I know that didn't have anything to do with anything,
No, it
but it was
did.
just something that
It actually did,
I
because
ran into.
it actually did. Uh,
Actually does, because harp is like weather manipulation
Cloud
technology.
seeding. Yep, cloud seeding. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that ties back to a lot of what me and Roger have been talking about with everything about aliens and um, the great flood and how it wiped out Atlantis and stuff, and how it was possibly the result of weather manipulation technology or an Astra that released torrential volumes of water and triggered earthquakes. So what you're saying does tie back to that.